Alright, hello and welcome back to that weekly thing that I'm doing called the Game Week predictions. I've actually done it in time today, thankfully. And yeah, Game Week 3, it's some interesting games coming up. I just need to get all my cables sorted and then we'll load into what you're seeing in the background between Manchester United and Nottingham Forest, because that's the game that's going to be on the screen. Due to the fact that I'm a Manchester United fan, so I feel like that makes the most sense. But right, we're ready. I'll load into this and then we'll get the scores up. Scores on the boards. And yeah, let's get into it. Fuck it, we'll let the whole intros roll through. Well, I'm getting organised, I'm getting my stuff ready, I'm getting the photos up. When I say photos, what I mean is the photo of my predictions, because I wrote them down earlier. Well, I put them down on an earlier notes app and then took a photo of it. Alright, don't yell. Well, as loads, I'm going to get a drink and then we'll get into speaking about the predictions. I've kind of gone with the closest team to what Ten Hag's doing in real life. And the reason Martinez is left back is because Luke Shaw's now injured. We've got no Malacia, and Williams has been loaned out, so Martinez has taken the left back spot. Didn't really have a choice over it, because there wasn't really anyone else that could have somewhat even close to have fitted there. And then this game has just put... Well, I mean, this isn't my fault. Bear with me, boys. I hate this fucking video game. If we're going to do it, let's make it fair. Where's the select sides option? Let's just jump across a second. Because the game's decided to fuck up the entire team here. So bear with me. I want it to be fair. Like, I don't like to be all over the place. I think that's more or less it. I don't really know to put it on the left, so Gibbs White's out on the left. He's got a bit of pace. And then Scarpet in the middle. And then this is the bench. Right, sweet. I mean, it's good enough, I think. I've left Felipe on the bench. He has got an injury, but I'm not... Honestly, it takes too much work to try to keep all the injured players out. Because they'll come on anyway, even if they're on the reserves. So we'll go back to Central, and then we'll let the game unfold. I think our squad's in the right positions as well. As close as it'll get. Right, so in the background, the Nottingham Forest and Manchester United match will be playing in the background, of course, like I just said. In the meanwhile, we'll be getting the scores up, and I'll give the scores. I don't know how many will be right, but I'll give the scores and hope I've got some right. I think I've got none right this last week, so hopefully I get something. I'm honestly not sure how to predict this one, but we'll get to that when we come to it. So the first one of the lot is the Friday night kickoff. It's between Chelsea and Luton Town. Now, Chelsea have made all these signings, spent all this money, and still lost to West Ham. I think it's just a matter... I don't think it's a matter of they're struggling, though. I think it's a matter of they just need to gel the squad together, and then they'll be unstoppable, really. Not maybe unstoppable, but they'll be very good. I love getting hiccups whenever I stream. It's like, as soon as I start streaming, hiccups are like, oh, hello. But yeah, the first game is Chelsea versus Luton. I mean, Chelsea are good. Just said that. But Luton as well could cause a shock. So far, they've not done anything special. They've not done anything surprising. I think they've lost both their games. So, well, they've lost one game. The first game so far. The last game last week got postponed because Kenilworth Road wasn't ready for Luton versus Burnley. They still need to do some operations on the stadium. So we never got that match last week. So Luton have had a 2-week break. They've had time off to rethink of their first ever Premier League game and maybe strategise differently for Chelsea. But I don't want to be the bearer of bad tidings, but I think it is going to be a Chelsea win. I don't see any way that Luton will compete with a super team. I know that this team isn't all gelled together, but it's still a lot of very good players. And I think it probably does. It goes without saying that the quality of Chelsea far outweighs the quality of Luton. I don't think it's going to be convincing. I think Chelsea still needs to get their act together a bit more. I think they need to figure out who they want to start, where they want to start, and how many people they want to start, because they've signed so many. I mean, yes, they've sold a lot, but they're buying everybody, and they don't know what they're doing with them, some of them. So it'll be a matter of trying to figure out what pieces go together, and they're still figuring that out. But today, I said, well, I guess technically tonight, yeah, because I'm recording this Friday morning. Today, I think Chelsea will be victorious. I think it'll be a 2-0 win. I don't think it'll be by any means convincing, because, like I said, still figuring things out. But I don't see Luton putting up much of a challenge against Chelsea. I'm going to say 2-0 to Chelsea for that one. Jordan usually is here to give his predictions as well, but I think he's busy today. So I am solo flying on this one. Up next then, Bournemouth versus Spurs. It is, well, I guess it's a tale of two teams that are doing quite well. I hate to admit it, but Spurs played us off the park last weekend. I had a sinking feeling that we'd lose. But I wanted to back the boys. I maybe should have backed a draw at the very least so it didn't look completely stupid. But we lost. Deserved to lose. Looked like shit doing it. They looked solid. Their midfield looked fantastic. And it was just a story of we just didn't play well again. I don't know what Ten Hag's philosophy or his thinking is, but ultimately I'm trying to reassure myself with the fact we started shit last season. But then we picked up and ended up finishing third. So I'm hoping it's going to be a similar story. I'm hoping these injuries to our players aren't long-term, especially Luke Shaw's now a recent injury coming in. I don't know how I got on this topic, to be honest. Talking about Spurs and Bournemouth, I'm not talking about Man United just yet. We'll go on our tangent. We'll go on the Man United game a little bit. But Bournemouth versus Spurs, I think it's going to be a goal fest. I mean, Spurs are finding goals without Harry Kane quite easily. But Bournemouth have exceeded everyone's expectations so far as well. Did lose to Liverpool, of course, but put up a fight and drew to West Ham in a very good game as well. So I reckon it's going to be I probably should back a Spurs win here, but I'm going to say it's a 2-2 draw with Bournemouth scoring first, Tottenham scoring 2 to take the lead, and then Bournemouth getting an equaliser to share the point at the Vitality. I mean, Spurs probably will win, but Bournemouth are prone to put on a few shocks this season, I think, because they've looked fantastic so far. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue pulling out the shocks here. I can't believe what I've just seen on my screen. I cannot believe what has just happened in front of my eyes. I mean, our knee is celebrating. Or Awoniyi, I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's a Lindelof own goal. Oh, for crying out loud. Got an actual own goal last week with Martinez. I don't want to see any more own goals. How's he oh my god. Up next then on the score predictions, Arsenal versus Fulham. Arsenal have started off in great form like we all thought they would. They started off in great order. A win on the opening day over Forest and then a win as well over Palace. It wasn't convincing in either, I guess. Well, I mean, the Palace one was more convincing than the last one. I just said who they faced and I can't remember who it was. Either way, Arsenal have had a great start to the season. Sorry, I got this stuff on my mind. Arsenal have had a great start to the season. And they're playing Fulham this weekend. I could just see them continuing their winning run, to be honest. I don't see any Fulham threat here. With Mitrovic gone and yet to be replaced, they've not really got an attacking threat. In terms of defence, they're decent. Leno going back to his former club as well. May bail him out for a little bit, but I think it is going to be a Gunners win. I'm going to say 2-0 to Arsenal. I'm not going to predict goal scorers because I don't know who the fuck's going to score, but I do know that Arsenal will pick up 3 more points. I don't think they'll be in the title race this year, don't get me wrong, but I think they'll definitely be in the conversation. Well, they'll definitely be top 4, I think. I think that's a given with this team. If they pull together and work well, then I don't see why they can't get top 4. So I think it is going to be a 2-0 Arsenal win in that one. Up next, Brentford versus Crystal Palace. A London derby. There's going to be a lot of them this season, obviously, because there's so many clubs in London. But, oh my fucking days. I don't know what to say, man. I know that, like, I should be concentrated on what I'm doing with predictions, but what is going on my screen? It's ridiculous, man. Anyway, up next, like I said, Brentford versus Palace. Brentford have, well, we've obviously been worried about Brentford without the goals of Ivan Toney, but they have told us, do not worry, mate, that's not a problem. Taking points off Spurs and then winning last week as well. Brentford do look quite dangerous. I don't think there's going to be any relegation battle for the Bees. Palace as well, they've looked decent in their outings. They've lost both, I think, but they've looked decent. It's going to be a close game, in my opinion. I've put 2-1 here. I think 2-1 is about right because Brentford will bring goals, of course. And Palace, I think, will put one away. But I think Brentford will be slightly too strong on the day for Crystal Palace. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, obviously. That's the whole point of predictions. But, yeah, 2-1 Brentford is my prediction here. On screen, I'm absolutely flabbergasted as to why we're 2-0 down to Forest. Oh, this isn't replication of what's going to happen in real life. Lindelof with an own goal, now an E. I just want to take a look at the stats here as well. Like, what the fuck? Right, into the second half we go. Let's continue reading out these predictions. So up next on the list, Everton and Wolves. 2 teams that have started, I think, with 2 losses each. I think both started with losses, right? I'm not tripping there. I think both lost the opening games so far. And both teams that are struggling to find goals. So my prediction, because both teams are struggling to find goals, is that it's going to be a 0-0 draw. Because Wolves have got talent, they just don't have a lethal finisher to get the goals in the back of the net. And it's the same story for Everton. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's back, but he's not the same Calvert-Lewin that was courted by some of the top 6 clubs a couple of years ago. Although I think if there was to be a goal, it would probably more likely be Everton to score it. But I still don't see any goals being scored in this one. And I'm going to say it's going to be a 0-0 draw between Everton and Wolves. Forest nearly scoring an own goal there. Up next then is the match you are seeing on your screen. And it is Manchester United hosting Nottingham Forest. I don't even know what to say for this one, because on the screen it's telling a whole different story, first of all. But second of all, we've got so many injuries. No left back now with Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia injured, as well as Brandon Williams going out on loan to Ipswich. So left back spot's kind of fucked. We've got no striker still. Højlund still recovering from his knock. Martial still recovering as well. There's just so many issues with this team that I don't think will be ironed out. And at this rate, I will honestly take a point against Forest, because we have been shambolic so far, to say the least. Even with that win against Wolves, the performance was a shambles. And I remember I was working on the, well, not working on it, but I was working whilst I was watching the United and Spurs game last weekend. And I tried my best to hide my displeasure, but like, fucking hell, we stank up the gaff. Spurs outplayed us. Spurs, with a new manager and no Harry Kane, outplayed us, which just shows how bad we started the season. But like I said, the thing that's reassured me is that we also started bad last season, and hopefully it works out that I'm right with this theory, and we kick on. Now, this might sound stupid based off of how the first 2 games have gone. I predicted a 2-0 win for us, but I have absolutely no confidence in that coming to fruition. I don't actually know what Anana's doing there either. I have absolutely no confidence in that coming to pass, because realistically, we have been shit. Like, I think you know, I think everyone knows, everyone's watched Man United, even people who haven't watched Man United probably know. The Wolves performance, diabolical, even though we got lucky, and the Spurs performance, less said about it the better. So I'm saying 2-0, but I'm not saying it with a lot of conviction. It's more I want us to win, and we should win this, rather than we're going to win this. I wouldn't be surprised if we drop points again, but I'm backing the boys. I won't back us every time, just for the record. It's just teams we should be beating, I'm going to back us. Teams like City, Liverpool, Arsenal or something, maybe I'll go a bit different. But teams like Forest, like maybe even Spurs, definitely Wolves as well, that we should be beating, I'm backing my team. Following that will be the game between Brighton and West Ham. Both teams making good starts. Brighton, despite having the looming Europa League football, as well as a big amount of sales, have not let that phase them at all, because they have been fantastic to start the season. They've been on fire. A big win to open the season and a big win last week. I can't remember who they faced last week, but they did win big again. It's a fantastic run of form from Brighton, and I think they're going to continue it. As much as I back West Ham, and they've brought in some new signings as well, some good new signings, especially to replace Rice. They've finally made moves in the market. I've got hiccups, but yeah, they finally made moves in the market, and I respect that. And they're also on the verge of signing. There was this morning they were signing a Cam, and I can't remember who it was. It's a big name, but my brain. Kudus, that's the one. They're bringing in Kudus. Obviously, he won't be available for this game, this weekend, but he's coming in. So there'll be a good feel-good factor. Plenty of money from the Rice deal that they can splash about, and they have done. But I just think with Brighton being on absolute flames so far, I don't see them losing this one. Maybe I've gone over-predicted here. I may be over like stretched, I suppose. I've gone 3-1 to Brighton, because I think West Ham will score. But I think Brighton at the moment, the feel-good factor around the club is mad, and I just don't see them struggling too much against West Ham. They might struggle a little bit, but I think they're going to get 3 more points to add to their incredible tally so far. Following this is the game between Burnley and Aston Villa at Turf Moor. It is going to be the newly promoted Burnley versus an on-fire Aston Villa. I mean, obviously they lost their first game against Newcastle on the opening day, 5-1. Bit of a disaster, but they've also fought back with a 4-0 win over Everton. And then in the Conference League playoffs, I watched the game, so I'm mentioning this. That's the real reason I mentioned it. It's because I watched the full game. It was on BBC Scotland. They thumped Hibs 5-0. Now, I think it is going to be a win for Villa, but I think at Turf Moor, Burnley are going to try and make that a fortress. I feel like that's going to be their key. Obviously, against City, that didn't go quite to plan. But against a team slightly below City in the table, in Villa, I know they've made fantastic signings, and I know they've got a hell of a squad. But Burnley have made some decent signings. They've got a good squad, enough of a squad to survive, in my opinion. Only played 1 game so far this season because of their cancelled fixture against Luton. So we've yet to see them actually. I mean, I don't know, because City was obviously it was going to be a win for City, but actually yet to see them maybe go against a team who they might have a slight chance in. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got a Villa win, but it's not going to be as much of a demolition, I think, as everyone thinks it's going to be. I put 2-1 Aston Villa. I think it'll be a scrappy one. I think Villa will score twice, control the game, and then Burnley will get a late one to kind of scare Villa, but it won't matter. It won't lead to anything. I think it ends 2-1 at Turf Moor. Up next then, probably the easiest of the week to predict. No offence to Sheffield United, who are hosting Manchester City at Bramall Lane. If there's anything other than a Manchester City win here, I will firmly believe that anyone can win the Premier League title, honestly, because if City bottle this, if City do not get 3 points here, that's going to be mental. I'm not going to do like a forfeit or anything, but I am going to be incredibly shocked. I've gone for a 4-0 Man City win. I think that probably speaks for itself, because, I mean, Man City, definitely one of the, if not the favourites to win the title again. But I've put 4-0 because Sheffield United, they're looking woeful already. But I just don't see... I mean, they did well the other week. They nearly drew with whoever they were playing. I can't remember who they were playing off the top of my head. My fucking memory's atrocious. But I can't remember who they were playing. They were nearly drew to them. And in the end, it was a close game. But I think with Sheffield United and Man City, leagues apart. I mean, not literally because they're both in the Premier League, but leagues apart in terms of quality. And it is going to be a 4-0 win for Manchester City, in my opinion. Haaland bags a hat-trick. It's his first hat-trick of the season. And then the final game to predict is a big one, probably the juiciest one of... Why is Onana up? Biggest one of the weekend. It is going to be between Newcastle United and Liverpool. Also, that's St James's Park by the Magpies. And I'm not predicting this purely because I don't like Liverpool, but I'm going for a Newcastle win. And it's going to be incredibly close. But they destroyed Aston Villa on the first day. Go on, Rashford. Get the limbs for a Nottingham Forest equaliser, mate. But Newcastle United smashed Villa on the first day. Looked fantastic. And against City, obviously, it's Man City. They only lost 1-0. Granted, maybe the performance wasn't quite there, but they only lost 1-0. So I still think that they are very much in contention for top 4 as well, at least until Champions League comes in and they have to focus on that a bit more. But I think it is going to be a win just for Newcastle. Liverpool look good as well, but don't get me wrong, Liverpool look good. I don't know. I think Newcastle look better, if that makes sense. I think Fernandes is just taking down McTominay there. But yeah, okay. Rafa. I don't know how it's all going to be a yellow card. Anyway, but yes, I think it's going to be a close encounter. Newcastle United, I reckon, will just edge it. I reckon Liverpool score early, but then goals from Wilson and Isak will put Newcastle over the line, and then they will just hold Liverpool off for the remainder of the game. So I'm saying 2-1 win there. Of course, if you want to leave your predictions in the comments or in the Twitch chat, if you're just joining now, you want to put your score predictions in there as well. My game's decided to switch itself off there. Let's go back into it. But yeah, if you want to keep your put your predictions in, I'm more than happy to listen to them. It's going to be an interesting one, definitely. And I'm probably wrong with a few of these. Some of these are a bit rogue. I can probably tell you now, firsthand, I'm going to be wrong about this game on the screen right now. I've said 2-0 Manchester United, but that's mainly because I'm biased. Although we should be winning it at the same time. So you kind of... I'm 50-50 on it. But ultimately, it's going to be a difficult one this weekend. Now, usually, if it ends in a draw, I'll just, for banter, go to golden goal or extra time or whatever, even though it's a Premier League match. I will just do it. For banter, I will just go to extra time just to see what happens. Usually I would do that. Fucking hell, man. And I'm going to do that again, to be honest with you. I don't know why I was kind of writing off as I wasn't going to do that. Might as well. It's a bit of fun just to see towards the end here. Start my cable. Hopefully it's not fucked up. But yeah, so those are my predictions. I'll just go over them quickly in case you haven't kind of gathered them. I've written them down this time, so it should be a bit easier to keep up with. So we've got Chelsea 2, Luton 0, Bournemouth 2, Spurs 2, Arsenal 2, Fulham 0, Brentford 2, Palace 1, Everton 0, Wolves 0, Man United 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Brighton 3, West Ham 1, Burnley 1, Villa 2, Sheffield United 0, Man City 4, and Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Now, some of those are a bit rogue, some of those will probably definitely be wrong, and some of those are pure bias. But ultimately, that's the fun of the predictions. You need to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. I've just noticed on the screen as well, Forest have scored again. I hate this fucking game. Come on, United. The fuck's going on? Should have just ended it in a draw, shouldn't I? Well, I didn't, so that's the way she blows. Just going to let the game progress in the background. I can't believe Forest might actually win this on extra time. Oh man. I'm not really arsed because it's only a simulation, but if this comes to fruition in real life, I will be very upset because we need kind of a convincing performance, and I don't know if it'll come this weekend or what, but I need it, personally. I won't be able to watch the game because I'll be up in Glasgow. Also, I should mention as well, I'll be up in Glasgow this weekend, so there'll be no streams over the weekend. There may or may not be a career mode today. I'm not sure yet because I might have a shift tonight. I'm not 100% on that. So if there's not going to be a career mode tonight, I'll be live probably on Twitch at some point tonight doing Among Us for a wee bit. But I've got to go work maybe. I've not been told yes or no yet. They've kind of said we might need you in, and I've not really been told either way yet. We have a last minute arrangement. I just don't know. I just don't know about this team. I need to just not show up to streams every time I get here. You bottle. To be fair, I'm simming this. This isn't me playing, by the way. Just for full disclosure, I'm not playing. It's just this game is a load of bollocks. I took it to extra time for a bit of banter, even though it's a Premier League game, and I wish I hadn't, because Forest are destroying us now. Oh, I hate this place. If this happens in real life, I'll cry. Presence brings bottle culture. You're not wrong, honestly. You're genuinely not wrong. Man, I can't believe this. I tried to get the squads as updated as I could. I've even done it so injuries are in, like, kind of whatchamacallit. The injured players don't play, but sometimes they'll sub them on anyway. I don't really know if I want to watch the second 15 minutes of this, to be honest. But, I can't believe this. Rashford had to take it to fucking extra time, even though it doesn't matter. These are the stats as well. Like, it doesn't make sense. They've got 4 goals off 1.5 expected goals, and Man United have 2 goals off of 5.4. Mike Turner's having the game of his life, and don't even ask me about why Dallow's at right wing because I could not tell you. This is a disaster. Casemiro's at centre back. Martinez is at left back. Because we've got, I mean, Man United have got no left back at the moment. Shaw's injured. Malassia's injured. Williams has gone on loan. Oh, man. Well, I predicted 2-0 for us in real life, but I have absolutely no belief in that prediction. It's more hope than expectation. Man, he's on a mad one, Matty Turner. I wish Onana would do this. Sometimes it's the way it be. I don't think we're getting 2 goals to take us to penalties, to be honest with you. Maybe we are. Dallow's got one back. You just never know. I mean, that should be a save, but... I was just complaining about him being at right wing and he's got him bagged. Fuck's sake. Of all players, I know. Man. I mean, even when Højlund does come in, I don't know how he'll do. Go on, Diogo, mate. Part of me wants to jump in and take the penalties, but I'm not that much of a dick. I'll let the computer have its way. Diogo Dalot, apparently. New name. But yeah. You missed all my score predictions, Carter, so I apologise for that. But I put Man City to win 4-0. I think that's being generous as well. It could be a 9-0, genuinely. Sheffield United are that bad and City are that good. Go on, Fernandes. No De Bruyne. Yeah, it's the only thing that's preventing me from making it more than 4, to be honest with you. De Bruyne not being about does not help. But there's still quite a bit of creation, and you've still got a very good team. You've got Haaland. Doku's coming in. I don't know if he'll play, but he's coming in. Give you a bit more off the right. But ultimately, yeah, the reason I'm not predicting more than 4 is because of De Bruyne. Fernandes with, yeah, he's put that into real Z. Yeah, we fucked this. Whatever. Whenever I sim these, whenever I do like a thing in the background, Man United always seem to lose. Or, well, they don't seem to win. I think we lost to Wolves. And then we drew to Spurs. Can we get us the penalties? Not if I'm getting my head jumped on. Just score it, Dennis. I've had enough. Okay, Onana's actually made a save. Doku's and everything winger, left side or right side. I think see a bit of him. If he gets named in the squad, I think he'll do something. It's a fantastic talent for you to sign. How many injuries? Yeah, we fucked it here. Whatever, that's fine. It's a simulation. This isn't what's going to happen in real life. That's all that matters. Fucking hell, right, boys, go counter, run. Never mind. Well, some you win, some you lose. Moral of the story: don't go to extra time in a Premier League match. Well, once again, I'll run down my my score predictions, and then we will end it there for now. So Chelsea 2, Luton 0, Bournemouth 2, Spurs 2, Arsenal 2, Fulham 0, Brentford 2, Palace 1, Everton 0, Wolves 0, United 2, Forest 0. I'm very, very more hopeful than expectation on that one. I don't think we'll actually even win, to be honest, but bias is kind of fueling that one. Brighton 3, West Ham 1, Burnley 1, Villa 2, Sheffield United 0, Man City 4, and then Newcastle 2, Liverpool 1. Some of them are rogue, some of them will definitely be wrong, some of them might be right and might be incredible. But we'll see. If you play your game, you beat Forest. I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so. But we're also very shit at the moment, and injuries have crept in at potentially the worst time. We don't have a left back, so that's always fun. I'm guessing Martinez will get shoehorned there, and we'll have Maguire or Lindelof partnering Varane. Still no striker. Martial's injured, and Højlund's still recovering, so we'll have Rashford probably there. Garnacho shouldn't start, but he probably will. Anthony also shouldn't start, but he probably will. I don't know, really, to be honest. We've got too many injuries at the moment. Once the injuries have cleared up, it'll be a bit more clear what's going to happen with this season. But we started shit last season, so I'll reassure myself with that, and we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. Those are my match day, week 3 predictions. Maybe do a career mode later. I don't know. I'll see. But I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you next Friday for game week 4. Peace.